RT coming to you live from Moscow, and the developing story that we're looking at this hour. In fact, here's everything we know about this now. A plane carrying the president of Poland, Lech Kaczynski, and his wife has crashed in western Russia. Russian officials say the plane was carrying 132 people, including Lech Kaczynski. And the head of Poland's central bank, the deputy foreign minister, and the army chief of staff are, among others, reported to have been on board that plane. The governor of Smolensk says no one survived, and he's quoted as saying the aircraft clipped the tops of the trees, crashed down and broke into pieces. What happened on approach to a small regional airport around 300 meters from the runway. The Tupolev Tu-154 plane was landing in foggy conditions, according to witnesses, and the mobile phones of everyone who was with President Kaczynski are no longer working. He was heading for a personal visit to the memorial site where Polish officers were murdered during World War II. Russia's President Dmitry Medvedev has ordered the creation of a state investigation commission headed by Prime Minister Vladimir Putin. Well, we have our correspondent on the ground, Katerina Zarva. Will be trying to talk to her and see what's happening there on the ground. We also have in the studio our political commentator, Peter Lavelle, who knew Lech Kaczynski personally, so we'll talk to him later. Let's now, I'm hearing that we can now talk to our correspondent, Katerina Zarva. Katerina, well, tragic piece of news coming in this hour. What more can you tell us on the ground? What's happening there?
Well, Marina, not much is known so far. Basically, the only information we do have is that the governor of Smolensk said that the plane did crash just coming in for landing. It crashed about a few hundred meters outside the landing strip of the Smolensk airport, and according to the governor, the plane clipped some trees. Of course, the governor is not exactly an aviation expert, so it will be up to the Special Investigative Committee and to the experts from the aviation industry to say exactly what had brought this plane down. We are hearing that the Polish president was, in fact, on this plane. But, of course, until everybody that has been on that plane is identified, there's no certain way to be 100% sure. But we do know that it was a delegation from Poland on their way to the Katyn Memorial Site, which is a very significant site and a very significant event in the Russian-Polish history. Over 4,000 Polish officers are buried there. They were executed as prisoners of war in the spring of 1940, and the Polish president and delegation were headed over there to pay their respects and to participate in memorial services. And it seems as though the memorial services will now be expanded to include much of the Polish administration, including the president and his wife.
Okay, well, this is, I believe, all the information that we have for now. Katerina, thanks very much indeed. We'll be getting back to